Welcome back. This morning we are off on a little adventure here. A new friend of mine has reached out to me and asked me if I would help her get her husband's old car up and running. We're gonna go see if we can rescue this thing. Let's go for a ride. All right, we have made it. Inside this little garage right here to my right is where we're going to be spending most of our day today. Okay, got the garage opened up here, and this right here is probably one of the coolest cars that I have seen in a very, very long time, and I feel absolutely honored that I get to work on it. This is an absolutely fantastic Detroit Dinosaur right here. Let's get this thing uncovered and see what we're working with. These folks bought this car in the late 80s and enjoyed it for many, many years. They had it rebuilt. The story that I got on the car is that it was originally green, and they took it and they had it painted red. Let's get a look at this thing here. Kind of tucked in tight here. I think we can work around that. This car's been sitting here now for a number of years under this tarp and car cover, trying to protect it from our garage cats, which is probably good news, because I doubt very seriously I'm going to find any evidence of a mouse, because there are probably Oh, probably a good 6 or 8 cats running around here. But look at that. Little duct tape repair on the seat there. She's got the factory 8-track player there. Got a few car show stickers on the dash. But boy, what a unit. Look at this beautiful thing. The odometer on it is showing 38,472 miles. And judging from what I see of the brake and gas pedal, I would say that that's pretty correct. Oh, look at that. Disc brakes. What an absolutely beautiful car. Got keys in it. Oh, look at that. Dash lights come on. A little bit of juice left in the battery. I'm not going to try cranking it over just yet because I want to make sure that the engine's not locked up or something stupid like that, or a belt's broken or something crazy. Let's dig around under the hood in this thing, see what's up. See if I can figure out how to open this up here. There it is. That was easy. Oh, another cat. Must have found herself a comfy spot down there. 429 cubic inches. Premium fuel only. That doesn't surprise me. Battery terminals are pretty corroded. Get those cleaned up. A new battery in this thing. Power steering pump is empty. Ooh. Full of coolant. That's good. Let's see here. It's full of oil. Old looking oil, but full. At least it didn't sit here and leak all the oil out of it. Got the flip up headlights on it. I'm not sure what that means, but well, come in here and take a look. This old girl is sporting a big block, 429 cubic inches. Now, from what little bit of research I've done on this thing, these engines made about 360 horsepower and 420 foot-pounds of torque back in their day. I'm going to say that this thing's been gone through, been rebuilt at least once in its life. But then again, with only 30-some thousand miles on it, it may be 100% original. I honestly, I didn't ask the owner whether or not that had ever been done. And I see the wing nuts missing from the top of the breather. Old interstate battery. They're going to get that out of there. So, let's have a look here, see if she's got brake fluid in her. And it's a little low in the back, but front reservoir here is a little low. Fluid looks good though, not bad for being Lord knows how old. Not bad at all. Now my plan here, if I had to say I had one, is just go through this thing. I'm going to freshen everything up. I have no doubt that this car will run, and it'll probably run good, and it's probably not going to fight me at all. Don't. Yeah, it's not locked up. So I'm not in the least bit worried about that now. So let's pull this the air filter. A little dirty, not horrible. I'll get this breather wiggled off of here. I'm going to tuck this around my belt so I don't accidentally gouge this old hot rod. There we go. That lifted up out of the way there. One other thing that I'm noticing here is the heater hose is looped around in itself, so if I had to guess, I'd say the heater core probably leaks in this old girl. But I don't think she's planning on driving it in the cold temperatures anyways, so we're not going to make a big deal of that. Fuel filter looks like it's been replaced sometime recently. Got a Motorcraft 4-barrel carburetor on it. Not locked up. Man. Nice and clean inside there. Yeah. I doubt very seriously there's any gas up here to it, so I'm going to pull that fuel filter off of there and make sure it's not clogged. I don't know, I'm not sure what I was thinking. I didn't bring a fuel filter with me, so if I've got to go get one, then so be it. I do see some evidence of a coolant leak. A very, very old one. So I don't know if that's going to be a problem or not, but if it is, we'll deal with it when the time comes. Lots and lots of cat hair. Yep. Got a tiny amount of play in the water pump there. So, yeah, she's probably going to need a water pump. Fuel pump. Fuel pump actually looks like it's new. Oh. Well, I don't know. Before I get too carried away here, maybe, I don't know, maybe I ought to just stab a battery in it and see if she cranks over okay. The distributor cap looks brand new inside, as does the rotor. And a little bit of, tiny bit of corrosion on there. Points. Yeah. Can't really tell. Yeah. Yeah, the points are pretty well burned up in it. So we'll put points and condenser in it for absolute sure. Well, now that I've got the ignition system disabled in it, let's toss a battery in it and see if this thing will crank. Yeah, let's do that. Get this fuel pump disconnected here. Put that hose in a bottle. That way if we start pumping fuel, I'm not spraying it all over everything. Alrighty. Get this crazy thing off of here. Now, how in the heck? child-proof. Well, ask just about anybody, they'll agree that I am a giant child. But also why I have more fun than they do. All right, let's see, a 1/2-inch wrench. There we go. Well, I'm just guessing here, but I don't think I'm going to have to do a smoke and spark test on this thing because the battery has a little bit of juice in it. And if the car hasn't burned to the ground yet, I don't think it's going to today. Oh, there we go. Yeah. And tighten them up a little bit to break the seal, if you will, and then back them off. They'll usually crack right loose. Oh. There we go. There we go. That one came right off. All right. You out. Yeah. The battery tray's not all rotted out either. All right, that one's obviously positive. No battery hold down here. We might have to custom make something for that. All right, foolishly didn't bring a wire brush with me. And why would I do that when I'm working on a 60-year-old car? Might accidentally have to mess with the battery. Yeah, no wire brush, of course. All right, so we'll clean it out with a pocket knife and a screwdriver. Thankfully, they're not that bad. That looks pretty good. Get this from out here. Yeah, the positive cable's a little bit more coked up than the negative one was, but it's coming clean pretty nicely. All right. Now I brought a couple gallons of gas with me, non-ethanol 91. I'm pretty sure this car is probably designed for leaded fuel. I don't know. Might not be. But brought some 91 non-ethanol with me. About 5.5, 6 gallons. So I'll put that in the tank before I start cranking on this thing. That way, if the fuel pump is working, it's not sucking up a bunch of old fuel. I don't know how old the gas is in this car. But the old timer that owned this car, who sadly passed away, his wife was telling me that he was very meticulous when it came to this car, and she doesn't think that he would put cheap gas in it. So, okay, get that. Let's get this fuel line disconnected here. Oh, that rubber line is hard. And I didn't bring any 3/8 hose with me. Well, I might have to make a run to the store to get something to fix that up a little bit better with, because the last thing I want is to induce a leak in this thing by farting around with this old hose. Let's see what we got here. Go that way. Loosen it up a little bit more. Let's see. Old cat having a heyday out there doing whatever it is he's doing. All right. Well, nothing dripped out of it. So, now, I think for the moment I'm just going to leave that alone. I don't know what size that is, but it's bigger than 7/8. Let's see what we got here. There we go. Yeah, I knew I could count on you. All right. Spin this fuel filter off of here. Well, it looks pretty new. And I'm not even going to bother trying to show you this because probably won't see it, but the inside of this is just as clean as a whistle. Yeah. So, smells a little varnishy, but I expected that. Okay. So, got a battery in it. Ignition is completely disabled. And I found this old Pine Sol bottle laying over here in the corner of the garage. I am going to try and probably fail miserably at catching this gas if it's going to pump. So, leave that there. Yeah. I'm gonna throw a few gallons of gas at this old girl. Well, it doesn't stink. Oh, a little varnishy, but not terrible. Yeah, I don't know for absolute certain, but the gas gauge nor the cap say anything about unleaded fuel, so I might have to go get some lead substitute to put in it. Just lay a couple of rags on the floor underneath this just in case. I don't want to dump gas all over this lady's garage. Alright, let's throw some fuel in this hot rod. What I do know is this car has about a quarter of a tank of gas in it. When I first came over here and looked at this car, I threw a bore scope down the filler neck. And she's sitting on about a quarter tank of gas. The inside of the gas tank looks brand new. The fuel was a little discolored, but didn't stink real bad. So I'm not too worried about just dumping fresh fuel on top of it and mixing it up. And I'll do some digging here in just a few minutes and try to find out whether or not this thing requires leaded fuel. If it does, I'll run to town and get some lead additive before I run it too terrible much. Okay. Got my bottle on there. Hopefully this thing will pump fuel for me. All right, let's see what happens here. We got dome lights. See if I can reach the key and see what I'm doing here at the same time. By golly, she's pumping fuel. Well, she did once anyway. There she goes. Yep. All right. Fuel pump is good. That is fantastic. Ooh, boy, that is varnishy. Hoo-wee. Yeah, take a look at that. It's pretty varnished up. It isn't horrible though. It'll run on it. But I am definitely not going to try to run it without a filter. Matter of fact, yeah, I'm going to run to town and get a new filter for it anyway. Because I got to replace that hose. I don't trust that hose. First things first. Okay, I know it's pumping fuel. Obviously it cranks over. I don't know if it has spark, but let me pull a couple of spark plugs out of it. You know, I didn't bother to check to see if it... Oh, you know what? Oh, you know, I probably did that. See, the coil wire is disconnected. It wasn't going to have spark anyways, but... Okay. The plug wires themselves actually aren't in horrible condition. Let's pull a plug out of there and see what we got. Well, I'll be damned. You know, I brought this kit of spark plug sockets with me that I have. And wouldn't you know it? Not a single 13/16 spark plug in the sight. You've got to be kidding me. Yeah. 5/8, 14 millimeter, and 16 millimeter. All right, nothing like being prepared. Let's see what else I got here. Let's see if I can get them out with just a regular socket. Yeah. All right. We're in good. We're off to the races here. All right. Well, I expected that plug to come out of there a lot harder than it did. Oh, was this old girl tuned up before he put her away? Problem is, nobody really knows what he did to it before he parked it. Oh, no. No, it was not tuned up before it was put away. Wow. I don't know how well you can see that, but this thing runs rich. She was running rich. All right. Well, I'm not an expert on these old girls, so I'm going to be cautious because I don't want to screw the firing order up on this, so I'm just going to replace these plugs one at a time and put the plug wire back on it. A box of Autolite 45s. Let's see, where's my... Let's see what the old boy had him gapped at here. Find out if he was even close. Let's see. There's... Got him gapped right at 30 thousandths. On that one anyway. Let's see what this one's gapped at. A little wide. Holy smokes. Yeah, she's a bit of an oil burner. Take a look at this one. I don't know if the camera will focus in on that or not. Oh, come on, focus. Look at that. Bit of an oil burner. The cat hair in here is just insane. If I need to be worried about anything, it might be a hairball fire. right, what do you look like? Oil fouled, but nowhere near as bad as that second one. Yeah, so I'm thinking the first time this thing fires up, there's going to be a blue cloud associated with its first fire. Yeah, I'm thinking when this was parked, it was probably in pretty good need of a tune-em up. Well, I suppose if she was an oil burner, I don't have to worry about corrosion in the or rust in the cylinder walls. Wasn't making any weird noises when it was turning over either, so I'm not too worried about low compression or burnt or stuck valves or anything weird like that. Not terribly concerned with that right at the moment. This might seem a little bit backward, but putting the plugs in it before I even check it for spark, but again, I'm not worried about this car. I think it's going to pop right off. I think she's going to fire right off and run like she's supposed to. All right, what do you look like? That one wasn't even tight. Yikes. Much the same, oil fouled. So maybe this carburetor does need a little bit of tuning. Yeah, running a little rich isn't horrible, but we want her to run right. Come on. Get in there. Uh-oh, was there a reason this one was loose? There it goes. Okay. Now she threaded right in there. Yeah. Okay. That one's snug. That heat riser's bolted to the exhaust manifold. I really don't want to fool around with that, but it might be in my way. Might be. Nope. And that plug wasn't real tight neither. Well, that one there's probably the cleanest plug yet. That gap is slammed shut on that. Well, it fits right in there. Huh. Okay. Optical delusion. Yeah, that heat riser is going to be the death of me here. All right, let me grab an extension. one spark plug here is not playing nice. There we go. Kathy, I have a question for you.
I have an answer for you.
Do you know if Al was putting lead substitute in the gas in this thing when he was out driving it?
I know he did that. I don't know if he did it all the time.
Okay.
Added a bottle or something.
Okay.
Or, you know.
Well, obviously, you know the gasoline today is unleaded, and you know in this car, I've got to do a little bit of looking. I'm not 100% certain if it's a great big deal or not. But if this engine requires leaded fuel, I've got to run to town and get some stuff anyways here in just a little bit. But if, you know, dry rotted fuel hose, things like that, I don't want to risk having a fuel leak because of rotted out lines. But
I do know when we first got it, he would always put the whatever it was, the leaded stuff,
okay,
in the tank when he filled it.
Okay.
But I don't know if he did in recent years.
All right. Okay. Well, it will run just fine on leaded fuel or on unleaded fuel. Just that it's to do with the cylinder heads, the old leaded heads they call, as they're called. The valve seats are softer.
Okay.
So unleaded burns a little hotter than the old leaded gas did. So it's hard on the exhaust valves. So if she needs a little lead to keep her happy, I'll grab some while I'm in town. If it doesn't require it, I'm not going to get it. But if I'll do some looking here in just a little bit. Just now putting the last spark plug in it. The spark plugs in this thing look terrible.
I am thinking that he probably didn't do that. After a while.
Okay.
I think somebody probably told him it wasn't really required or whatever. But I'm not positive.
Okay.
Pumping gas.
Well, I just want to give the old girl its best chance at, at coming back to life and.
Yeah. Well, pumping gas was not in the marriage vows with us, so. Or I should say it was in the marriage vows, and that he had to do it, not me.
Right. All right. I was just curious. Okay. I did a little bit of digging, and it turns out that the lead additive's not going to be a thing I need to worry about, as long as the car's never been. The engine rather has never been rebuilt and anything ever done to it to remove the lead coating from the valves, from it running back in the day when leaded fuel was a thing. As long as nothing's been done to remove the lead coating from the valves, I shouldn't have a problem because the gasoline that is used today doesn't remove it. So as long as the valves are, as they put it in the forum that I read, work hardened, they should have a lead coating on them, and I shouldn't have any trouble getting this car up and running. So I'm on my way to the parts store right now to pick up a piece of fuel line, a couple of fuel filters, and that air filter was kind of funky too, so I'm going to go ahead and grab one of those if they've got it. I don't even know if they'll have these things for a car this old, but we'll see. And then we're going to get back to the young lady's garage and get this old hot rod fired up and see about taking a little weekend cruise. Okay, back from the auto parts run. Grab some brake fluid, seafoam, a couple pieces of hose, fuel filter, and grabbed a package of wing nuts. Hoping that one of these will fit that breather cap. Because all of the things in the world that I forget, this is the one thing that I remember. For some reason or other, it's been haunting me that this thing needs a breather cap wing nut. Look at that. Boom. All right. Well, I suppose this thing decides to backfire and You know, you don't want it snorting the cap off of it and literally blowing the lid off of it. Just set that up there. All right. I'm going to run it first on this old fuel filter. Thread that back up in there. And if it's going to clog up a fuel filter, I want it to clog up the old one first. Oh, what do I do with those? There they are. Snug that just a little bit. All right. What did I do with that new fuel filter? New fuel filter came with a little length of hose. Oh. Both of those hose clamps are right here. And got a little bit of gasoline sitting down there on the intake manifold. Now, I'm going to sop that up a little bit before I get that put back in. Yes, don't need the mess. Oof. That's going to need a little lube. Get that wiggled up there. Yeah. Okay. Here we go. I mean, I like a good explosion just as much as the next guy, but I don't think this is the time or place for it. Not today, anyway. My little screwdriver. You cinch down a little bit here. There we go. There. That's good there. All right, now. Let's see what we can do with these points. Dark in here, can't really see all that well. Whoop, there we go. Yeah, find a magnetic spot. There we go. Stick that too. And make sure all this stuff looks exactly the way it's supposed to. Yep, that's good. Quarter inch. No, that's not quarter inch. That's a lot bigger than that. Five sixteenths. Wow. All right. There is one thing that I have absolutely zero doubt, and that is that this old timer just loved this car. This thing is super, super clean. I work on cars for a living, and I can't remember the last time I worked on one that's as clean as this one is. Alright. Probably don't want to crank that down just yet because I gotta make some adjustments. With that open, I need 20 thousandths. I need 20 thousandths gap with that opened up. There's 30, 26, 25. I'm going to, because of where the cam is sitting on this, I'm going to gap it at 19 thousandths rather than farting around trying to get this. There we go. Rather than fooling around trying to get this this engine turned over a little bit more. We'll set that right there. And if it doesn't run or it struggles to run, we'll make adjustments to it. But for now, this is what I'm doing. Get those snug down. Come on. Just like that. Yeah. That's too much. Don't get carried away. Don't get greedy. Right about there. Cinch that down right there. I think that'll do. Now what did I do with that condenser? There it is. Well, yeah, nitwit. Yeah, I've still got the coffee shakes, it seems. Get the condenser hooked up here. Coil plugged in here. I don't get to work on neat stuff like this very often, but boy, when I do, it sure is a treat. I just astounded how easy these old rides are to wrench on. Engineers, they seem to have had a little bit better idea what was going on back then than they do now. For sure. All right. Now, go ahead, put the distributor cap back on it, and replace those plug wires. And again, like I said earlier, I'm going to do them one at a time to keep me from accidentally screwing up the firing order. decreasing my chances of successfully getting this car running. Here's the coil wire. Set that up to the side. Is the coil wire correct? No. This one is. This one is not. Okay. Alright. That set off to the side here. We'll start with this one right here. Looks pretty good. So, I think what I'm going to do here, I'll plug one of these old spark plugs back in. I didn't think to bring, didn't think to bring my starter button with me. Wish I had that right about now. I'm going to put this, I don't know, maybe up here on the, let's see if this thing's got spark. Yes, it does. A very hot spark, too. That is fantastic. That was a very, very bright spark. So, fabulous news. I know it's got spark. The fuel pump was pumping. So what do you say we crank it over a few times and fill that, see if it'll fill the float bowl. Maybe we can get this thing to bark off. I don't know if the accelerator pump is any good.
Turn it over while you do something?
Nope. What I'm doing right now is, well, seeing if it'll bark off for one, but trying to get it to pump fuel and make sure it's got oil pressure before it fires.
Okay.
So. Toss a little bit of this down its yap and see if it'll chew on that.
What is that?
Seafoam. It's a fuel system treatment. And put just a splash of that down in there. I'm gonna put just a splash of gas down in there while I'm at it.
Have to add the lead additive?
No,
Good.
no, ma'am. All right. Well, if nothing else, I flooded it pretty well.
Pardon me?
I'm just talking to myself. Oh. All right, here we go. To bark or not to bark? Wow. It popped right off. All right. Well, that is fantastic news. It still runs.
I knew it would. Don't know how well, but I know it would.
Well, I can give her another blast of gas here, and hopefully, whatever's in, hopefully, you know, with what was in the tank with that new gas on it, it'll sit and run under its own fuel system. Wow, it sounds amazing. All right. She's not going to put up a fight at all. Well, oh. Might have spoke too soon. Ah. That carburetor might need a little work.
There's the flame.
Come on, baby. All right. She's a runner. Yes! That is fantastic. Okay, what we're going to do now is we're just going to let it sit here and warm up. Get some temperature in it, make sure everything comes back around like it's supposed to. Get that oil warmed up and circulated through it. Then we'll dump the oil out of it. Get some fresh stuff in it and maybe, just maybe, take her for a spin. She is an absolute runner, guys. I didn't expect this car was going to put up a fight, but I didn't expect it to just start up and run like it was shut off yesterday. So, got pretty lucky on this one. She is a runner. All right. Got a little bit of heat in it now. Let's see if the old girl's got any gears. We've got brakes. Right now. That is excellent. She's got gears. She runs. The oil light's flickering, but I don't know if it's really got bad oil pressure or if that oil's just messed up. Oof. Timing might be off a bit. Timing is way off. Yep. Back that timing off a smidge. All right, let's go ahead and change the oil in this thing and see what it looks like coming out of there. All right, got the oil changed in it. The oil come out of this thing looking like, I don't know what, nice and thin. Didn't really stink like gas, but it sure super thin like it was. So, I'm gonna fire it back up here again, get some more heat in it. And depending on how it behaves cranking over, I might monkey with the timing a little bit. Quit flickering. All right, double check the transmission fluid level and it's still a little low. Hopefully this one cord will get it up to snuff, because that's all I got left. without having a timing light with me. So let's go ahead and put the air cleaner back on it. And one new wing nut. Back that timing off just a little bit more. Keep your spark knocking like that. Let's try that out. Pretty sure that's the right direction anyway. Nope, that made it worse. Going the wrong way. I knew that. Maybe he had it that far advanced for some sort of a reason. Definitely the wrong direction. There we go. That's better. I'm gonna lock it down right there. All right, I'm gonna run up to the gas station and see if I can find some transmission fluid for this, because
Okay, we do have a dollar store.
the 5 quarts that I brought aren't enough.
Pardon me?
The 5 quarts that I brought weren't enough. It's showing on the stick now, but it's still pretty low.
Okay.
And before I try driving it, I want to make sure that the fluid is up to snuff. You know, evidently 5 quarts of transmission fluid wasn't enough. You know, I'm gonna take a little trip up here to the gas station. There's a dollar store here somewhere too. I don't know how much luck I'm gonna have finding Type F transmission fluid, but we're gonna go give it a try. Oof. All right, I found some transmission fluid at the local dollar store. It's some sort of synthetic blend that says that it's compatible with Type F. But it's only a quarter too, so the transmission fluid, and I think it probably stand to be changed anyway, so just for the sake of getting the car outside and running down the street, I think it'll be okay. And a little bit later on I'll come back and change the transmission fluid and filter anyways, because it has to have a leak somewhere, so it's probably going to need some service anyway. But today's objective was just to get the car up and running and hopefully driving, take her for a little spin here in just a little bit, and hopefully get to enjoy a little bit of road time with this old girl that's been sitting for I don't know. I guess the car's been sitting for 3 years. I thought it had been sitting a lot longer than that. But that's okay. Makes everybody's life a little bit easier. And the car came back to life unbelievably easily, so I'm pretty happy with that. And we got it all finished up here. Going to take one quick double check look around, make sure I didn't leave a wrench or a screwdriver or a cat or a small child under the hood before we take it out for its first cruise here. And close this hood down nice and gentle, like ooh, 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 ooh. Oh yeah. Give her a little tug. All right, let's take this baby outside. Drops right into gear. Get that mirror adjusted. Slide her on out the back door here. Okay, take a quick walk around here. She sure does look good out in the light. The first time this car's seen daylight in several years. The temporary tag there on the back of it said that it was from 2014, so that was the last time the car was tagged anyway. She said the license plates are laying in the trunk. We're not going to worry about that today. Look at that shine. Holy smokes, what a beaut. Just an absolutely beautiful car. Going to take a second here to double check the lights, make sure that everything's working like it's supposed to. Check out these flip-up headlights. How cool is that? Nah, they just don't make them like this anymore. What a blast I had working on this car. And a few of the lights aren't working on it. But again, we're not going to worry about that too much today. Take a look at the tail lights here. The tail lights were working on the car, but they were real dim. Getting ready to hop in this thing, take her for a little spin here. Shut the lights off. We're just going to let it set and warm up for just a couple more minutes before we take off on our drive. she is, folks, right back into where she came from, underneath the new car cuts. And let her sit away there until spring, and then I'm going to get back with her and we're going to finish freshening up, some fine tuning, and put tires on it, and get it up and running. But at least it's not sitting completely dead now. It'll fire right up. It's got fresh gas in it with stabilizer in it, so come springtime, when the weather gets a little bit nicer and we don't have to worry about snow and rain and all that other crap, we'll get back after it and finish it up and take it for a good, long, spirited drive. So there will be future videos on this one. Stay tuned.